Most people who start a business do it backwards. They come up with an idea they love, spend 6 months building it, and then, only then, try to figure out if anyone actually wants to buy it. By that point, they've already lost. The idea isn't the business. The idea is just the starting gun. Here's what nobody in the entrepreneurship space wants to say out loud. The single most valuable thing a business does is solve a problem someone is already frustrated enough to pay to fix. Not a problem you invented, not a problem you assume exists. A real, specific, annoying friction point that people are already complaining about, already spending money on badly, already Googling at 11 p.m. That's it. That's the whole game. But here's where almost everyone gets derailed. They confuse passion with market demand. The guy who loves candles thinks he should start a candle company. The woman who loves fitness thinks the world needs her workout app. And sometimes it does. But passion without a paying customer isn't a business. It's a very expensive hobby. Every successful company in history exists because it found a gap between what people needed and what was currently available to them. Apple didn't invent music. They just made carrying 1,000 songs feel obvious. Airbnb didn't invent travel. They looked at empty bedrooms and underpriced demand and connected the two. The idea wasn't magic. The observation was. So why does this matter to you? Because if you're waiting for a lightning bolt idea that's never been done before, you're waiting for the wrong thing. Most billion-dollar businesses are built on problems that already have solutions. Just bad ones. Slow ones, expensive ones, ugly ones. Your job isn't to be first. Your job is to be better, or cheaper, or faster, or easier to trust. And trust is actually where most new businesses die, but not in the way you'd think. I'll get to that part. But first, you need to understand what a business actually is underneath all the branding and pitch decks. A business has 3 moving parts, and only 3. You create value, you deliver it to someone, and you capture some of that value as profit. Strip away everything else. The logo, the LLC, the business cards nobody asked for, and that's the whole structure. Create, deliver, capture. Every business that has ever existed follows that loop. The ones that fail usually break it in the same place. They get very good at creating, completely forget about delivering, and never figure out capturing at all. Let's talk about what delivering value actually means in practice, because this is where the romanticized version of entrepreneurship crashes into reality. Delivering value means finding customers before you have a perfect product, talking to them before you're ready, and selling something before you're comfortable. Every founder who waited until the product was ready either ran out of money or ran out of time. The businesses that survive the first year aren't the ones with the best products. They're the ones that started talking to real humans while everyone else was still tweaking the prototype. Here's the mechanism. When you sell early, you get signal. Signal tells you what's actually broken about your offer, what language customers use to describe their own problem, and whether your price point is in the right zip code. That signal is worth more than any market research report you could buy, because it's live, specific, and costs you nothing but your ego. And your ego is going to take a hit anyway. Might as well get paid for it. Now let's talk about competition, because this is the myth that stops more people than almost anything else. You pitch your idea to a friend, and they say, "But isn't someone already doing that?" And you shrink. You think saturation means it's too late. But here's the actual logic. Competition is proof of demand. If nobody is competing in your market, that's not opportunity. That's usually a warning sign that nobody wants what's being sold there. The real question isn't, does this already exist? The real question is, why would someone choose me over the existing options? That's your positioning. And positioning isn't about features, it's about who you're for. The restaurant that's already in your neighborhood didn't close down because another one opened. New customers exist every day. New problems emerge, contexts shift, brands become stale. The market isn't a fixed pie, it's a river. I remember the first time I actually made money from something I'd built. $340 in a single week from a service I'd stitched together in about 4 days. It wasn't impressive by any measure, but what it told me was that someone out there had a problem specific enough to pay a stranger on the internet to solve it. That's the moment the abstract becomes real. Not when you register the business name, not when you design the logo, when someone hands you money. And this brings us to the part that almost no how to start a business video will tell you clearly. Sales is not separate from the business. Sales is the business. Marketing is the process of making the right people aware that a solution exists. Sales is the process of closing the gap between awareness and purchase. Every other function, operations, product, hiring, finance, only exists to support those 2 things. You can have a mediocre product with great sales and survive. You cannot have a great product with no sales and survive. Not for long. So why do smart people keep ignoring this? Because selling feels uncomfortable and building feels productive. Tinkering with the product is a form of procrastination that looks like work, and it's one of the most seductive traps in entrepreneurship. Here's the twist most people never see coming. The thing that actually kills new businesses isn't competition, isn't lack of funding, and isn't a bad idea. It's the founder's inability to let go of the version of the business that exists in their head. The imagined business, clean, fully formed, perfectly positioned, is the enemy of the actual one. The companies that make it aren't the ones that executed their original vision perfectly. They're the ones that changed it fast enough when reality disagreed. Adaptation isn't a failure mode. It's the whole strategy. Every company you admire today looks nothing like it did at launch. YouTube started as a video dating site. Slack was built as a gaming company's internal chat tool. Instagram had a completely different app before it stripped everything down to photos and a filter. The pivot isn't the exception. It's how it actually works. You start with a hypothesis, the market corrects you, and the ones who listen faster win. So imagine someone starting today, not with a perfect plan, but with a specific problem they've noticed, something they've personally paid for badly, or something they've heard people complain about more than once. They don't build anything yet. They talk to 10 people. They ask what they've already tried, what it cost, what was frustrating about it. They're looking for a pattern, a phrase that comes up more than once, a moment where someone says, "I'd pay anything for someone to just fix this." That sentence is a business. Then they sell the solution before it exists. A simple landing page, a direct message, a conversation with a clear offer. If 5 people out of 10 say yes, that's a business worth building. If 0 say yes, that's not failure. That's 6 hours of your life instead of 6 months. The feedback loop is the whole point. Cheap experiments that teach you something are infinitely more valuable than expensive launches that confirm nothing. Then they build only what's necessary to keep the promise they made, not the full vision, the minimum viable version that actually delivers what the customer paid for. Then they ask that customer what was missing. Then they improve it. Then they charge more for the better version. This is how most durable companies were actually built, incrementally, messily, one paying customer at a time. The romantic version of entrepreneurship, the sudden insight, the garage origin story, the overnight success, is a myth the media invented because it makes a better film. The real version is less cinematic and far more repeatable. Find a real problem, get someone to pay for your solution before you've perfected it, listen harder than you talk, and adjust faster than you're comfortable with. Passive income is just deferred labor. A business that runs without you is just one that ran without you enough times that it learned to. And the question that should be sitting in your head right now, the one this video didn't answer, is which specific problem worth solving is already sitting right in front of you.